profitable communication. We all want impeccable communication for remarkable results. All of us want that. And how do we attain that? One of the most powerful tools I'm sure you will find is called the coJohari window. Since 300 BC, with Hippocrates, and even before then, people have striven for understanding the human condition, understanding the styles and the ways people are. The four temperaments is what Hippocrates talked about, and he talked about how those were different between people. In 1955, fast forwarding, two men, Joseph Luft and Harrington Ingram, developed the Johari window. It took personality traits, 56 different personality traits, and invited people to evaluate themselves. And then, taking it a step further, asked their peers and their friends to evaluate them and their personality. So it was not only their view of who they were, but it was an evaluation and a communication on who they were from the eyes of another. They actually developed a 4-pane window. The first window, or the first pane of the window, was how I see myself. Those traits that I see for myself are in the I window. The second window is called the peer window. How do other people see me, and does that match with the way I see myself? The upper left pane is how we both see me. That, shall I say, union of the style of not only how I see myself, but how others people see me, is very, very important. And that is a mutual way of seeing what my personality is. The lower right, or last of the Johari window, the last pane, is our blind spot. Really, the traits we don't see in ourselves, or in anyone sees in ourselves, that may or may not be apparent, or even be a part of us. Well, that Johari window in 1955 was a wonderful tool that people have used and are still using to this day. I took it a step further. Not only did we notice that there were 4 patterns being discussed in many, many different ways, and names like Performax and DISC and Myers-Briggs, William Mariston, Carl Jung, and many others have dedicated themselves and communicated different profile types. Those different profile types can be very, very excellent models and understanding of who we are. Very well researched. But in the exacting nature of those tests, a very vital ingredient, I think that was very, very important, was minimized, was lessened. In the detailed orientation of the Myers-Briggs and other tests, we didn't ask how other people saw us. We didn't get those other views of the ways people were and the ways people saw us. Additionally, those patterns were all filtered through our minds. What if we thought about things differently? What if we didn't necessarily feel the same way? In fact, it's funny, very interesting. There was a point in time in my life when I was taking the Myers-Briggs. I was dramatically ENFP. Some things happened in my life that were quite traumatic, personally, and I took the same test, honestly, with the same, shall I say, vehemence that I took the first test. And I honestly answered the questions the way I was feeling right this moment. I went from an ENFP to an INTJ, which was the exact mirror opposite and exactly the same spectrum. The same dramatic difference. It was a dramatic illustration to me that those kinds of tests are dramatically affected on how I'm thinking and feeling at the moment. At the same time, I wondered, what would other people think about me in that regard? What ways of being and how I was presenting myself to the universe, was that the same as the way I thought I was presenting myself? These were major keys in understanding that that mental filter can be a dramatic impact on who I am and how I present myself to the world. When I realized that peer organization or that peer opinion can also be influenced in who I am naturally, who I am genetically. A very good friend of mine developed a psychological profile based on the iris of the eye. And observations in the neuro-linguistic programming field combined for a strategy and a pattern recognition of iTalk. Once I took iTalk and included it in the coJohari window, I created a coJohari window. The coJohari window is not about personality styles, it's about communication styles. It's not only about how I perceive the way I'm communicating, but how do other people see me communicating? And as importantly, what is my genetic predisposition? Combining all three of those, there is a three-dimensional Johari window. It is a coJohari window that really gives you an insight into how you communicate, how other people see you as communicating, and learning the 4 hidden languages. Once you understand that you prefer one of those languages over the other, you certainly can learn to speak the other languages. Do you want to only speak to one segment of the world? Or would it be valuable to speak to all the languages of the world? There's more information in iTalk, but I wanted to talk about the coJohari window in particular to allow you to understand this evaluation tool. Go to italk.org. Take the test. Get your friends' perceptions about your communication style and learn to communicate much more effectively to everyone. Everyone in your life in business, everyone in your life in person, and make your life a joy.